Hi, Arun. Can you hear me?
Hey Anil, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Hey,
you.
hey Anil. While we're waiting for others, yes, I can hear your audio. It's clear. I
Okay.
just wanted to speak up and say, thank you for the work that you've been doing, right? I think mobilizing people and bringing them together. I
Thank
have
you.
been utilizing some of your posts over the last many years. The
Uh-huh.
the AM22 tech.
hmm Thank you. Thanks for your kind words. Mm, just give me a second and we'll start. New H1B. So this was published by New York Times yesterday also, and we discussed it in our live session last night also. But there's no concrete information about it. Okay. If somebody wants to speak, you can request, and then I'll allow you. Twitter Spaces has some kind of limitation as well to how many people can speak at the same time, can be a speaker at the same time. So if it is full, which usually gets full, if a lot of people join, then it automatically kicks some people out if they have not spoken for a while. Then you can request again and I'll allow. I usually allow everyone who has a name on their profile. I don't allow the people who have cryptic names because then they are most probably spammers. Okay. Anybody has any questions? We can start with question and answer session, and I can share my understanding of the situation and how things are going. Because I think pretty much everyone has heard about the news by now. A lot of people have already made plans to come to USA. There was also news that, from SFO airport, about 10 to 15 people deboarded. Have you guys heard about it? It's all over the Indian news.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know how true it is, but someone wrote on one of the, I think, Facebook group as well, that they all were ready to fly. They were already boarded in the plane, but then one of the guy got a call from their HR asking them to immediately stop their trip. He took the decision immediately, and after looking at him deboarding from the plane, other 10 to 15 Indian families who were also going immediately asked for deboarding them as well. And then it was an Emirates flight, and then the flight attendant had to ask everyone, whosoever wants to get down, get off the plane, just get off immediately. Otherwise, they are getting delayed. So this has also happened yesterday. Yeah, right. Somebody on the YouTube is saying that yes, it was an Emirates flight. Yeah, I also read it in the news. I don't know anyone, firsthand about it, but I mean, from my side, I think they did the right thing because there is no coming back. And the rules are so vague that nobody knows whether this will be applied to the new H1B or the existing ones or not. Because when the press conference happened yesterday, they clearly said it will happen for everyone, right? They did not categorically said that it will apply to only the new H1Bs who are coming to USA this year. Okay, Vivek on YouTube is asking, I'm currently in US and stamping has expired and I intend to travel to India in November this year. Will it be risky to travel and get stamping? Yes, my opinion is that it's very risky because the rules are not clear. Nobody knows. That's why most of the attorneys are recommending that just don't travel unless we have the clarity from the government that this is allowed and this is not allowed. At this point of time, all the Indian news has just reported based on what New York Times reported yesterday, saying that one of the White House official has said that they are going to enforce this 100K fee only on the new H1B that are scheduled to come to America starting 1st of October for work. But there is no clarity on who that government official is and whether they have the authority to say all this or not, and whether their word can be relied on. None of the newspaper has actually named that particular person or the government official. So it's all up to our own interpretation and what the attorneys are suggesting. So my personal opinion is that don't travel. At least for the next 10, 15 days, just wait and watch what kind of situations come up and how do they, you know, respond to it. Thanks, Vivek, for asking this question. Anybody else has any question that I can help share my opinion for? Or anybody? Oh, Saurabh wants to speak. Saurabh, go ahead.
Hey Anil, thanks for hosting,
Mhm.
and hi
Yeah, sure.
everybody else. Yeah, yeah, I'm in a situation where I'm in US, so that's okay. My
Uh-huh.
renewal is in 2027 February.
Hey, Anil, can you hear me?
Yes.
So, Anil, I was in process. Basically, what has happened is that my new
Can
employer
you,
has.
please, can I stop you for a minute because
Yes,
Saurav was in the middle of
yes,
speaking
yes, sure,
something.
sir. Yes, yes, no problem,
Yeah,
sir.
sorry about that. Yeah. Yes,
Right.
Saurav, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm just telling my situation. Like 27 is my renewal, so 6 months before, where August sometime 2026, my company will start. Uh, so my question is, when the renewal papers to be submitted, at that time they need to make a decision for 100K, or it is just at the port of entry they want whether you have 100K or not. So do we have a
But
clarity on that? And the second question
no,
is, okay, we don't. And the
no
second question
clarity.
is the FAQ, not FAQ, the fact sheet which has been shared. It has categorically mentioned that a lot of companies are firing employees and a lot of Americans are getting fired, but H1Bs are still getting hired. That means the companies are under pressure to, if they have to do layoff or cost cutting or whatever, H1Bs will be the first target. And when they don't have any H1Bs, then they can fire the American. Is that direction it is going?
See, that's the political narrative that they are trying to build. It may or may not be backed by the real data on the ground. So I cannot really comment on that, but because they want to implement this rule, they have to come up with some theory, right? So if you look at the real thing, H1Bs go through so much of rules and regulations. You have to file LCA, then the employers have to, give job advertisements, and if somebody applies, then they have to take an interview and document and do all those steps as prescribed in the law by the government. They follow all those rules. So I don't know. I'm not the right person to comment on that, but those kind of things will happen, right? What
Understood.
my
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, no, see, we are not in a position to change that narrative anyway. We are not the voters. We are a
Right.
temporary reason where. Can somebody please go on the mute? It's too much of background noise. Yeah, thank you. So the current situation is that they have implemented this rule, and it is the chances of getting this stopped by court are low at this point of time because this is like you know very difficult to stop, at least for the next 2 to 3 months. The people who are currently outside the US will be affected. They will have to plan for delays, and people who had travel plans. I know a lot of people who are traveling for Diwali, and they had stamping appointments and everything. They are. I'm suggesting them personally to just cancel their trip unless they have an emergency. I mean,
Yeah,
that's my personal opinion. So
sure,
it
sure.
depends.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll go to listening mode for others. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Thank you, Anil. Yeah, I just have a specific question. So
Uh-huh.
basically, what's happening is that my I applied for a new job. I was on H1B, so I'm changing
Uh-huh.
employer. Applied for a new job. LC was approved, and they filed for my H1B last week, and my checks were cashed by the USCIS on 9/19. Right, so that is the time when the receipt number is generated, and I'm in US. So if my new H1B filing has been done pre 9/21 and I am in US, my approval has not yet come in. So does this impact inside US because I already have an approved I-140? This is my sixth or the
No,
seventh
so
H1B approval. Yes, sir. Yes.
no, no. At this point of time, the consensus is that the people who are physically in the US, can you please go on mute? There is
Sure,
a lot
sir.
of
Yes.
background noise. So the consensus is that people who are physically in the US are not affected at all. They can keep filing the extension, transfer, amendment, whatever they want, and they are not affected. So they are trying to put a tariff on the entry into the US on H1B visa. So people who are outside the US are definitely affected. And yesterday, New York Times posted this article, and then every news publication in India copied that, saying that New York Times is saying that they have credible information after talking to one of the White House official that they are planning to add this fee only for the first time H1B, the new H1Bs that are scheduled to enter US in October 2025. That's what they said. But there is no guarantee or there is no name given there. And there is no guarantee that this White House official has the authority to say this or comment on this situation. So, what I would do in this situation is I would not rely on this information and I will try to enter the US as fast as possible and preferably today if I can. So that is the first step that I would take if I have to come back. Then second is every other company, including Microsoft, Amazon. I spoke to a lot of people who are working in these companies. The guidance from their attorneys is that if you can come back by tonight to USA, come back. But if you can't, then just cancel your flights and stay back in the country where you are, and then let them, watch the situation, and the new guidance will be issued maybe by like Tuesday or Wednesday, because nobody knows what exactly is going to happen. None of the attorneys have concrete information because the way proclamation has been written, it's quite vague. The rules and the use cases and the various combination of visas and this and that has not been drawn. So the charts you're seeing on, circulating on WhatsApp and Twitter with different situations, if you have I-140, if you have AC-21, this and that, all that is crap. Okay, because
So true.
yeah, those situations are all nonsense. Those do not stand. People are just copy pasting and forwarding them.
Yeah. Thank you, Anil. Great. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, we have a question from YouTube. SK is asking, will there be any effect for 2025 lottery selected or only from 2026 onwards? This is going to affect 2025 lottery. If you are not in the US, if you are outside the US right now and you got selected in 2025 lottery, that's the primary candidate that they are trying to target. So yes, definitely they are affected. But if you are physically in the US, like maybe you were a student, you were on H4, and then maybe you converted to H1 B in 2025, then you're safe if you're physically in the US.
Hey Anil, I have a question.
Yeah.
Just now I saw a message in our group. Someone
Hmm.
crossed the entered into the US. He has a
Hmm.
valid I-94. The CBP officer said that as long as you are valid I-94, they are not going to stop. Is that true?
Really?
They
Well,
he clearly sorry.
no, nobody knows. See, nobody knows until tonight. Nobody knows. We will have more
So
information
he
tomorrow.
just confirmed. He just confirmed in our group. He clearly asked a CBP officer, "What is
Who
the
is this?
criteria? Why you are?"
So
So in our
have
group, like in yeah,
CBP officer in your group.
not CBP officer, the person who entered into the US, he
Uh-huh.
asked the CBP officer, like, what is the criteria to stop?
Uh-huh.
So they said, if you don't have valid I-94, they are going to stop. That's what they said.
No, so that's wrong information. Whatever person posted in that group has is trying to bluff. Because when you exit the US, I-94 is automatically invalidated. When you're trying to enter, there is no I-94. So how is the I-94 valid when you're
So,
entering?
like few people, they would have a visa, they can do multiple trips,
Visa,
right?
yeah, visa is different than I-94. But you are saying I-94 is valid, right? There is
That's
no
what they said.
I-94 valid if you have exited the US. The day you exit, I-94 is gone. Okay, that's the first
Okay.
thing to understand. So if he is saying that CBP officer said this, he's lying.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's fake information, I would say. I
And I
will.
have a question. One more
Yeah.
question, Anil. Suppose like I'm working for like here for more than 10 years. So like
Mhm.
if I want to switch to L1B or L1A, I should have to go out and come back, or you can switch it here.
See, I'm not an attorney, so don't take it as a legal advice. Okay, I'm just sharing my experience and what I understand from the news. That is first thing. Second thing is L1B, and those are complex situations. Let's discuss it sometime else.
Okay.
Is
Thank you.
yeah,
So
okay.
Sorry.
do you think this is going to affect future people applying jobs in the USA?
Yes, definitely. The way it has been written, yes, definitely.
And may I ask you, like, like 100K, is it a big amount for H1B? Like, what's the average income a new H1B applicant gets? I know it's job dependent, but like an average.
I don't know. May I ask who are you? What
I'm
background you
just,
have?
oh, well, I live in Dallas and I've been staying here for like from the last 25 years. And I'm curious because uh, my father's Indian and he brought us here when I was little. So, we have a couple of cousins working on H1B over here. We try to bring as less as possible, but you can't keep Indians away from America for long.
Okay. Yeah, so the topic today is not about salary and other stuff. We're talking about this executive order or the
Yes, it's in
proclamation.
relation to the executive order. I just want to know if 100K is a big amount for H1B applicants.
100K fee.
Yeah, every year, right? I mean, I'm assuming don't they make like a lot of like don't they make $1 million a year?
Yeah, of course. So I don't know why you're not making it. If you think $1 million salary is a normal salary in America, then of course you are living in illusion.
So, yeah, one more. Uh, so, I think I did hear about the Axios report saying that the fee is only for new applicants applying first time from India, for example, right? Or for that matter,
Mhm.
from any country. But I also heard someone saying that F1 visa students who are in US, when they are trying to convert to H1B for the first time, like that fee is not applicable for them as well. So that's where I guess I am confused. Like, how are they not? Uh, how is that fee not applicable? Because even for them, it will be the first time H1B visa, right?
Yeah, so what I understand is that the president does not have the authority to change the law within US. So what they have done is but president has authority to block the entry of people into the United States. That's what they did with the Muslim country ban, if you remember, from his last term. And that's what they're trying to do with H1B. And they did the same thing in COVID as well, right? Because the president has the authority to block the entry. So they have specifically targeted that area of law where this cannot be easily challenged and stayed by the court. That's what I understand from what I'm hearing, but
Right,
I
right.
may be
So that
wrong.
that does mean that when they say first time H1B visa, the fee is applicable only for the first time. It's really for only people outside US. For anyone who is converting to H1B from, for that matter, from any visa like F1 visa or for from any other visa category, if they are converting to H1B, but if they are in US, then that fee is not applicable.
Yes, that's what I understand. Yes. So
Okay.
your physical location matters a lot. And with that Axios and the first time it was reported by New York Times yesterday, and every other publication has picked up that information, including Indian publications. But nobody knows the credibility of that information and who that White
Mhm.
House official is. So if I was in your place, I wouldn't believe on it. I would still not
Right,
travel,
right.
right? Because see, you don't have any option at the airport if you're standing and then they ask you to go back. If you can please go on mute, because there's a lot of background noise. Yeah, thank you. So if you are at the airport at the port of entry and they ask you to pay 100K, even if the order doesn't say so, you have very little choice at that point of time because they won't let you do anything. They might just take the decision that go back and come back only when you have the 100K receipt. And in that case, what usually happens is your employer is going to be abandoning you. I don't think they're going to take a decision to spend 100K fee per year on you just, unless you are a scientist or that kind of guy who is very critical and your presence in US is absolutely required. So employers also need time to think through it, right? They need budgets, they need to plan their projects, expenses, and everything. That's why every major company has told their employees that if you cannot return by September 20th midnight, then just cancel your plans. If you're traveling on 21st, 22, just cancel your plan because they don't know what's going to happen at the airport and they don't want you to call them and ask for 100K fee to be paid while you're standing at the port of entry. So they have clearly told that whatever is in the news may be true, but they don't have concrete information from the government on paper to back that claim, right? They're saying that just stay back wherever you are and let us watch this situation, how it turns out in the next couple of days. And then they will give you the guidance on when to travel and what to do about it. And that's what
Right.
I also believe is the right thing to do. I mean, don't just assume that because someone in the White House said something means it's concrete information. It's not because yesterday, if you listen to the press conference, there were a lot of situations where they were answering in a very very general manner, right? Because there can be hundred of combinations. You may have H4 visa, you can enter the US on H4 and then convert to H1B. That's also possible. If you have B1 visa, you can come to US on B1 and then convert to H1B. Is that allowed? Do we have to pay the fees in that case? Although they have mentioned categorically about B1 situation that if you use B1 to enter the US, you cannot, you are expected to not work and not convert to H1B. And there is another law in the US immigration where it says that if you convert your visa type within 90 days of entering the US, the USCIS has authority to investigate your claims which you made at the port of entry 90 within 90 days, and then they might consider it as misrepresentation and may deport you. So given the kind of situation, they may trigger that against you as well. So don't, I wouldn't suggest doing this, like coming on some other type of visa and then converting it within 90 days in US to H1B at least for the time being.
Right, right. Yeah, no, agree, agree. Thanks. And then just last thing, like if someone who is already in US but wants to go to India to for stamping, uh, like let's say like 2 months from now, I know everyone is saying like don't plan. But like, do we know that those people, the fees is not applicable for those type of people who have I-797 already renewed but just going India for stamping?
If I was in your place, I will not travel because
Okay.
I will wait for like another 2 weeks to things to settle down, and then we will be clear about who they are allowing and who they are not allowing to enter.
Right, right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Thank you.
Right? Okay. Anyone else wants to speak?
Yeah,
Abhishek, you
so
want to speak?
yeah, I just wanted to understand, like, if I just trust this new pressure, like it is targeted for 2025 lottery, those guys. So some of them, I think the petition and everything is already approved, and maybe they are in the queue for the visa stamping, and also how they are gonna pay that.
Uh, just one second. I'm just replying on YouTube. Just give me a second, please.
Yeah,
If
sure.
anybody else wants to share their opinion, they can share meanwhile. Yeah, sorry. Abhishek, can you please repeat? I
Yeah.
missed your question. I'm
Sure,
sorry
sure,
about
sure.
that.
So no problem. So if the guys who have been picked in 2025 lottery, some of their petitions are already approved, and
Hmm.
they are still outside US, maybe in the processing of doing their visas and all for the October 1st cycle.
Hmm.
So if they're targeting those candidates, like they still do not know how to make those payments and all these things, right? So this is a kind of I don't know what situation, though their situation will be a little tricky. So is there anything on that point, I mean, like how to make those payments and those cases?
Yeah, the best is get the 100K cash in the bag and just give it to them. See, they're not given any instructions on how to pay. Maybe they are still deciding on that. But the matter is more about whether you should pay or not to get a person in the US. Is it that valuable? Because if you have ever done business, right, you try every business tries to reduce the cost and then tries to sell it at a higher rate so that they can make as much profit as possible. So businesses will also have to find out how many people are there in the H1B category and how much expenses is it's going to add if they have to pay 100K for each person per year. It's not like for 3 year term they're asking for 100K. So it's a difficult decision. I don't think that businesses will be able to make it within 1 or 2 days. It's going to take long time because it affects their bottom line. It's a big expense. It's not like $1,000 added or $2,000 added. $100,000 is a big amount for anyone, any business. Even if it is Microsoft or maybe Nvidia or Apple sitting on $1 trillion cash, they all have to think about it. You can't just pour out money uh, like
Yeah.
this, right? It is difficult. So from the employee point of view, if you are on H1B, then yes, it's a very difficult situation because as an H1B, I don't think that majority makes that kind of money that you can spend 100K per year just to stay in the US anyway. Nobody would do that, right?
Right.
It makes no sense to me.
And also they say like employer needs to pay it, right? Not the employee.
I am not sure about that point, but what my understanding is that because for H1B premium application as well, you are allowed to pay premium fee, but the employer has to file it. You cannot file the premium processing yourself, but you can pay for it. I think they are going to do the same thing here. The idea is that if you are paying from your pocket, you are going to get it reimbursed from the employer in one way or the other, right? It's not going to come out of your pocket anyway. How if you are paying per year 100K fee just to work, keep working on H1B, you have to make at least double that amount as salary, isn't it? How are you going to pay for it otherwise? because you can't work two jobs on H1B anyway. Right? So logically thinking, it makes no sense to me that the employer will be able to pay for it. If you are working on H1B and you are able to pay 100K as fee just to stay on H1B, you might as well apply for like the gold card or the EB5. That is a much better pathway for you. Why are you even wasting time on H1B then if you have that kind of money to pay? Logically thinking, EB5 is just 800K investment today, and the date is current there. So if you file today, you can get green card within 1 year. Why are you even waiting in H1B then? And EB5 is a business investment, 800K invested. There is a very good chance that you will get that 800K back. Here, the 100K is just the fee to stay in the US and work on H1B, which is non-refundable. But I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I mean, no logical sense. Maybe someone else may be able to extract some more juice out of it. If your package is maybe like $1 million per year, then it makes sense for you to stay.
Yeah,
But for
absolutely.
more,
Yeah.
but for most of the people in working in consulting companies or maybe mid-level companies, I don't think they just want to crush that category, right? That's their intent. Why otherwise? Why would they say 100K and not 10K, right? Their idea is that companies start thinking in terms that for a person A from India, if I have to pay 100K as fee and then maybe let's assume 100K as salary, so the total cost to bring that person from India is 200K per year, right? Then why not hire a person who is already in US at a somewhat lesser salary, maybe 150K? That's what government is trying to push by adding this 100K. They're trying to show that the worker in the US is cheaper than person from outside US, so that businesses are forced to hire locally. But usually this doesn't happen because businesses find ways to get things done at cheaper rate. They have to. Otherwise, how will they sell at a margin? That's just my understanding. Maybe if someone else has a different point of view, they can share. Anybody wants to speak up? Shaka, definitely. Okay. Was it Abhishek who
Yeah,
asked
I
this
asked that.
question?
Yeah, Anil. Yeah,
Okay.
I got your point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the crux of the matter is that this is the situation at hand, and let's try to find out a solution. Because the idea is if you want to stay back and follow the law, then it's better not to travel. Okay. Next, anybody else? I think Amit, you have already spoken, or you want to speak, or maybe Saurabh, whosoever wants to speak. Jagan, you want to speak? Hey, nobody wants to speak. No, nobody has any question. Let me take question from YouTube then. Okay, Karan from YouTube is asking if H1B visa holder is in US and spouse is traveling on H4 to US, does this new order affect H4 entry as well? Well, right now there is nothing written in the order about H4, so it should not be affected, but we will get to know tonight because some H4 will be entering. In fact, one of my friend's wife is coming on H4 tomorrow. I'll know the concrete answer by tomorrow morning. I'll share whatever I get to know. I'll share. Just keep following. Okay, some people joined as speaker. You guys want to speak? Anyone can speak.
Hey Anil.
Hi.
Hey, I just have a question, and I don't know if this is the right platform to ask right now, but I was wondering if you can explain a little bit more about EB5.
Yeah, B5 is a very different. Uh, I mean, I guess we should take it up in a separate session because what I understood yesterday was we discussed this gold card and EB5 and other stuff, and it went into a very different direction.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, but and if you have any specific question about EB5 versus the current situation, I can help answer in a very quick and prompt way. But otherwise, EB5 is a very big discussion point. It takes like a couple of hours to go through it.
Got it. It's just so high level. What I understand is 800K, 5 to 7 years, you get a green card within 1 year. It's the date is current, and
Yes.
that just kind of basic sense of it, right?
Yes. Right now, I know people who have got green card within 1 year, and those are Indians, and they filed somewhere in 2023 and 2024. They are getting green cards right now
Got it.
because the date is current for Indians there. So there is a very good chance if you file today and if it stays current, you might get it.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anil,
Yes.
suppose if I'm planning to try for EB5, so
Mhm.
like after 6 months or 1 year, if Trump ban the EB5, is it going to impact the one who filed, or how it is going to?
The EB5 program goes in like it has a lifetime. Right now it is supposed to end in 2027. So and last time it was ending in 2022, but they renewed it for 5 years through Congress. So Trump cannot, as I understand, see, I'm not a legal expert or an attorney, so it's my own understanding. I mean, they cannot just remove EB5 just like that because it is approved by Congress and it's a legal process. So as long as you file it before it ends, then you're fine. You'll be safe because there is a grandfather uh, clause in the new EB5 program that they created in 2025 that people who filed while the law was active, they will be protected.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi Anil, my name is Arun. I'm calling from India. So actually,
Yes.
my I-797 is approved and I have visa stamped. Okay, so I have three questions. The first one is, so can I travel without this 100K penalty? And the second one is that how, I mean, is this rule can be challenged in court and how that is possible? I mean, will that pass or they can withstand this one? So the third one is, can I travel on B1, B2 and then convert to H1B? Because I mean, even I can apply for B1, B2 or not. So I have these three questions from this side.
So I'll answer in the reverse. B1, B2 is not allowed. They have clearly mentioned in the order that if you try to do that, you will have to pay the fees. And the second question was about what? Sorry, I forgot the questions. Second question was about what?
Is this rule can be challenged in the court? If yes, is there any possibility that court can upheld this one?
The chances are low because it's about the entry, and as I understand, President has the authority to stop people from coming to USA. That's what they did when they banned the people from Muslim countries, and the ban stayed until Trump was there. And COVID also they banned people entry into the US, and the court challenge was not uh, able to do much about it. So I would say that expect that this ban will stay for at least next 2 to 3 months, even if the courts are able to stop it. So it's not going to happen immediately. If someone has to file a court case, then it's going to take time. I'm thinking at least 2 to 3 months. Because businesses are affected, they will try to lobby and they will try to file some kind of lawsuit, but it is not guaranteed to work. So I would say that make plans accordingly. If you are outside US, then definitely you are affected. Talk to your employer and what can be done. Uh, but if you are in the US, then the best option would be to not travel.
Yeah,
So there
got
is
it.
this
Yeah.
Yeah,
Axios.
yeah. And can you please go on mute? Somebody's is playing music in the background. Yeah. And what was your first question? Did I answer that?
Yeah, I mean, indirectly, yes. Yeah, I've answered that. I'm outside US and my visa got stamped recently. So yeah, this will affect my case, right?
Yes, it should. As of today, yes. They may change the situation tomorrow. They may, give the exceptions tomorrow. But as of now, yes, you are affected.
Okay, and this proclamation is for 1 year, right, Anil?
Yes, one
Until
year.
September 2026. So
Yes.
after that, they might extend or they might scrap it, right?
Yes. But
Oh,
usually they try to keep it. Right? I don't expect them to scrap it.
okay, okay. Then it affects the US economy as well, right? I mean, because
See, there are different point of views and we can debate over it, but the way politicians think, they think more from the point of
Guys,
view that
did you see
what,
the tweet from the White House response team? They said existing visa holders are not impacted. It just came.
okay, then that's good news.
Yeah.
That's
It,
good news.
yep. It just and it said a lot of fake news are going around. Don't worry. I'll read exactly what they said.
Okay. Okay, someone wants to go ahead and ask the question.
so if the
Why?
existing visa holders are not affected in the sense the one who already got the visa and did not travel to US, were those people are also counted in that panel?
I don't know. I have to check that tweet and then I can share my understanding. Just give me a second. I'll read about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, if anybody wants to go ahead and ask their question or share their opinion, you're most welcome. Okay. I'll take the question from YouTube meanwhile. Can spouse get H4 stamping if H1B principal applicant is in the US? Yes, that's possible. That's normal. A lot of people don't travel, but their H4 spouses travel and they are eligible to get H4 visa. Yeah, I'm not an attorney, so I'm just sharing my experiences with you guys. If you want any specific information about your case, it's better to consult a legal attorney. Okay. Saurabh, you can go ahead and speak.
No, no, I just want, can somebody pin the tweet? I'm not able to see that.
Yeah, even I'm not able to see. I'm waiting for someone to share it.
Okay.
Yeah. But usually, I don't know, White House usually, if it is directly from White House, yes, then that was welcome. But otherwise, every news is just from Sutro ke anusar, right? That's how they say in India. It's all heard news. There is no guarantee that someone from the White House actually said it. So I
So
wouldn't
this
rely on
news
it.
is from insiders.com. If you type in Google White House
No,
news,
so
latest news about H1B, it is saying
uh,
like that article.
yes, every news has been copied through New York Times. New York Times reported this last evening. I shared it in my video as well. The New York Times is reporting that they spoke to one person in White House, and then they said that they intend to only force new H1B to pay this fee, not the existing ones. But they have not given any name of the person and whether that person has the authority to say this kind of thing or implement the rules. So if I was in your place, I wouldn't rely on that information unless it is on paper and the government is officially saying that existing visa holders are not supposed to pay this fee. Even the big tech companies like Microsoft and Amazon are not relying on that information. They have asked their employees to stay back wherever they are, and then they will take a decision and plan things out next week. They are also not sure whether this is concrete and reliable information or not. Because the way the proclamation has been written is very vague, and business newspapers are just reporting what the New York Times has reported. They're just copy pasting everything. But did I answer your question? Okay. Anyone else wants to speak? Jagan, you have been a speaker for quite a while. If you don't want to speak, you can make space for others. Thanks for your understanding, man.
How to change, Anil? I don't know. Like I'm muting and unmuting, but I how to.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Amit, you want to have your opinion? Okay, looks like nobody wants to speak. Okay, I see new speakers. Okay, Arvind, go on. Go ahead.
Hey Anil, this is Avin. So
Mhm.
and I just traveled over the last week to India. So I haven't I done with the biometric and I left with interview over this week for the H1 extension. Like I already got a H1 extension. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure like whether I need to go for the interview or I have to go for the interview. I guess. So I'm just looking for like your insights. Like what are the next steps?
When is the interview? Next week.
Yeah, next week.
Don't go.
Don't go.
No.
Okay.
If I was in your place, I wouldn't go because right now the situation is very vague.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what will happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you never know if you will be asked to pay or not. Maybe talk to your employer
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and what they say because there is very good chance that you will be stuck in India for quite long time. And
Mm-hmm.
if they are comfortable with you working from India for that long time, then I mean you have to talk to them and then come to a common ground.
Yeah.
As of now, I'm just telling people that it is my opinion that
Mm-hmm.
don't travel because there is so much uncertainty and things can go either way.
Okay. That makes sense. But I'm very late in this conversation. But what I'm hearing from social media, right? So it won't be the problem for renewals and extensions. So would that
So
be like a problem? Mm-hmm.
social media will
Mm-hmm.
tell you that there is no problem at all. Will you do that?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm
Social
just.
media, social media cannot be relied on, man. Whatever is written in the order is what is reliable because that's what they're. See, when you are standing at the port of entry, will you tell the officer that social media told me that there is no problem? Will you be able to tell
No.
him if he
No.
says that show me the
Usually we
receipt
not.
for 100K? Then, so
Yeah, that's a problem. Like. Mm-hmm.
right now, the way proclamation has been written, it does not clearly tell whether it is only for the new ones or the existing ones. It just says that whosoever is entering the US on H1B
Mm-hmm.
has to pay that fees. That's what the proclamation says. So unless they add more information about it, that existing ones are
Mhm.
excluded and this and that, that's what
Mhm.
you can claim at the airport, right? With the officer that existing ones are excluded.
Mhm. Okay.
Otherwise, there is no basis for it. I mean, social media, any newspaper like Times of India is publishing everything.
Mhm.
Last week, Indian news said that because the visa bulletin progressed by 1 year, they announced that their Indians are getting green card because our politicians have negotiated a deal. I mean,
Mhm.
all that was complete nonsense, right?
Yeah.
So you can't rely on that information. Just rely on what White House has posted and what is on paper, because your
Yeah.
company and your company attorney will support you only if it is written on paper and it is from the official government source. Everything else is complete nonsense.
Yeah, even I am following this White House Twitters, but I don't think like I got this information about the renewals and
Yeah,
extension.
so right,
Yeah, yeah, I think it is a very tough week. Whoever is attending, like going for the interviews for the stamping.
right. So it's better to stay back
Mm-hmm.
if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Rapid Response 47. Okay, official White House Rapid Response account. Okay, so it does say that proclamation does not apply to anyone who has a current visa. Proclamation only applies to future applicants in the February lottery who are currently outside the US. It does not apply to anyone who participated in the 2025 lottery. But this is again, so proclamation does not impede the ability of any current visa holder to travel to an, okay. So this is again, they have issued the tweet, but this seems again very contradictory to me. What they are saying is that it does not apply to anyone who has a current visa. Okay, but visa and petition are two different things. So if you are going for the visa application, okay, I don't know whether you will be given a visa or not, because in the proclamation it clearly says that your visa will not be issued for 12 months until you pay the 100K fees. They have not clarified that part. The second thing is the proclamation only applies to future applicants in the February lottery, but they have not given the year, who are currently outside the US. It does not apply to anyone who participated in the 2025 lottery. That means the new applicants that are going to come in October through 2025 lottery are not affected. 2025 lottery was, I don't know what they mean by 2025 lottery. Is it last year or this year? So this is again confusing because 2025 lottery happened in 2024. So
I
this is
think it
again
is
confusing.
for the current year
Yes, so
2025 for the newer applicants, I guess.
no, the 2025 fiscal year starts from 1st of September 2020. Okay, so
Uh,
they have not clearly said which year it is. Again, this is
can I
again
get the
very
tweet?
vague.
Mhm.
So it depends on your interpretation and how what you want to do. If I was in your place, I still wouldn't take that risk to travel. Okay. The third point they are saying is the proclamation does not impact the ability of any current visa holder to travel to from the US. Okay. So if they are essentially saying that if you already have a stamped visa in the passport, then you should not be affected. This is the only clear point. Other two are very vague. Okay, so we got the answers here.
Can I get the tweet link? I'm unable to find that tweet. So,
Okay, go to
any
yeah,
any.
search on Twitter Rapid Response 47. This is the account
Okay.
Rapid Response 47. This is the
Okay.
official White House account.
Oh, really?
Okay, I can paste it in the chat as well, the YouTube chat. I don't know how to
Okay,
do it
yeah,
on Twitter.
official White House rapid response.
Yeah, if you guys on if you guys are watching on YouTube, then I pasted it in the chat. But I don't know how to do it on Twitter.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else wants to speak? Let me take a question from YouTube then. Okay, anybody wants to go ahead and speak? Yes, someone has requested. Okay, Hussein, go ahead and speak. Hussein, you want to speak?
Yeah,
Or-
I just on the Twitter, I came to know that like the White House spokesperson, he mentioned that this is going to be enforced only for the 2026 visa cycle. It's not for any
Yes,
existing
so
applicants or that
yeah,
or the
that
new
seems to be
extensions
that,
or anything like that.
that seems to be the case because White House has officially tweeted about it, but the rules are still not clear. The one rule that I can clearly see is that if you have a valid visa stamp in the passport, the H1B visa stamp, then you can come without paying the fee. That's what at least they mean. They have not clearly said, but that's what I think they mean.
And it actually makes sense also, right? Like for employers to know upfront, okay, for going forward for any new application that they are going to file for new H1B, it kind of makes sense if they want to make sure that uh, to please his base as well. Okay, then no new H1Bs are going to come in, no entry level visa that will be issued for that. Okay, that make kind of sense, right? Like if somebody is going to into the port for the first time, that kind of makes sense that the jobs will be first offered to Americans.
Okay, so it seems that I saw a couple of other official information tweets. They are saying that they are trying to ban people from next year's lottery, so which starts in February 2026. When you apply for H1B in that lottery, then you will have to pay $100,000 fee. That's what it means. But see, they are using the word visa. Visa is different than the petition. So I don't know, they might just change their stance tomorrow. But as of now, what they're trying to mean is if you already have an existing H1B petition or the stamped visa in the passport, then you are not affected. They are they intend to force it on people who are going to apply for H1B next year, not even this year. I don't know why they have done it for starting tonight. Right? People who are going to apply in February, they are not even here right now.
Oh yeah.
So what exactly does this achieve? I don't know.
Hey, just to be in the news. Okay, okay, they are doing something for the American displaced worker, just to to play around his sentiments of the base.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's more targeted towards making the news rather than any real substance. Because as the order was written, now they are saying that everyone is trying to spread fake news, but the way they have written the order, it clearly says anyone who is trying to enter is affected, right?
Yeah, like how they are going to implement at the port of entry, like somebody who has a valid visa stamp or an application. is already approved, how are they going to enforce at the point of entry, at the port of entry?
That is a different matter how they're going to implement it. But the crux of the matter is that they want people to pay their fees. How it will be paid is a different matter altogether. Okay. Who is the next person? Okay. One information. I won't allow anyone who has a cryptic name or not a straight name on their account to be a speaker, because then they come and then they just speak something nonsense. And I'm not going to allow that, because this we want to have meaningful discussions and we don't want to just create noise here. Anyone else? Ramesh, did you speak? You're a
Uh,
speaker.
hello, Anil.
Yeah, hi. You want
Uh,
to speak?
yeah, the recent response from the White House adds an
Mm.
extra layer of confusion.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
They say it's applicable for the lottery applicants of next year.
Yeah.
But technically, the lottery applicants of next year won't be allowed to enter into US from September 15, 2026. So, what's the point of
Exactly.
implementing
That's
this ban from 20th of September 2025?
right.
There is
That's what
no,
I'm
yeah.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That it makes no sense that they have started the ban tonight, but they are saying that only people who are going to apply in February 2026 will be affected.
And they won't be
What
allowed to enter until September 15. Their work starts on October 1, so they will be allowed only to enter 15 days before
exactly?
that.
Yeah. So
Mm.
they are confusing with every information, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, just to create sound bites, something, some noise to his base. Okay, that this president is actually doing something. That's a noise that okay, the American workers are getting displaced by H1Bs and whatnot.
Mm, right. Right.
Because he knows like if he's going to enforce, then the business is going to move out, right? Whether it moves to India, it's a different topic altogether. It will move out of US altogether. Everything, the R&D and AI, everything is going to move, right? And overnight the American workers are not going to replace all the H1B workers, right? Okay, to an extent they will replace, but not every H1B, right, that are doing the actual hardcore work.
Right. I mean, that's debatable whether H1B adds any value or not. Those are all like political points and political discussion things. Nobody can really tell for sure that whether H1B is useful or not. Only that business who is hiring them can have that kind of opinion, because they are hiring and they are getting something done. Right? Nobody pays for anything for just free. If they're hiring someone and they are getting work done, then that business can answer that question. And when you're filing H1B, you are following all the legal processes that the government says that should be followed, right? So as long as you follow everything that's mandated by government, you're fine. You're on the right side of the law. Everything else is about the opinion of the people and the political narrative that they are trying to set. That's a different matter. So people vote based on their opinions, and that's what they want, I think, right now. So government is acting on that part. But from the H1B point of view, you have these rules and then you have to play by these rules. That's what we are here to understand, whether what can be done and what cannot be done to not violate this rule and still keep your job and keep working as much as possible, right? Everyone of us wants to be uh, following the law. Anybody else has any question? Or I can take a question from YouTube.
Anil, sorry, I have one other question.
Mhm.
So regarding the tweet from the White House, Rapid Response 47, they mention it will not affect the existing visa holders, right? So is
Mhm.
that mean uh, the ones with the new visa already stamped, or the ones with the visa who already traveled to US once and came back to India for certain reasons?
They
So
have
what does
not written, see, they have not even thought through all these scenarios. What they have written is that uh, yesterday, the way they wrote the proclamation, it meant that everyone is included. Whosoever is trying to enter the US on H1B visa, they have to pay. But today they have tweeted saying that existing visa holders with visa stamp in the passport are excluded. That's the only clear information that I am able to understand. They have written 3 points, okay, but only one of them is clear. Other two are again very confusing. They say that the proclamation does not apply to anyone who has a current visa. Now, visa and petition are two different things in US immigration law. Visa is when they say visa, visa means the one stamped in your passport. Okay. The
okay?
one you apply with USCIS is called petition in legal terms. So it does not.
Okay.
So they might just they should actually clarify that if you have a current H1B that was approved or existing H1B and you are just applying for renewal or getting the visa stamped in the passport, then you are not affected. That should have been a better statement, but they have not done so. So I don't know. Nobody knows. You see, what matters is that your company, your employer, and their attorney should be able to say it clearly that, okay, you are not affected or affected, right? For them to say this clearly, they have to read it in terms of legality.
Okay.
You cannot just rely on the tweets and other stuff for that. It has to be very, very clearly, explicitly mentioned that you're not affected, which was not done in case of yesterday's proclamation.
Okay.
At least when I read it, I mean, I couldn't clearly understand whether someone is excluded or not. I thought that everyone is included.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
then
maybe in couple of days or like in a week, can we expect a better draft of that proclamation, including all these things, or is that the
I
one we got yesterday is the final one?
I don't think you can expect anything better. You remember how demonetization happened in India, and then the rules were changed every day based
Yes.
on the ground reports. They were just adding, removing this and that. I expect the same kind of thing to happen here. Yesterday, when they created that proclamation, they came back with no answers. Now, when media has widely reported as that everyone is affected, they are coming back with 3 points saying that anyone who has current visa will not be affected. It only affects people, future applicants in February lottery. Future applicants in February is February 2026. Those people have not even applied for anything yet. And even if they apply in February 2026, they won't be starting the H1B job until 1st October 2026, right? Some of them may just be studying in America right now, and most of them are still in India. They have not even applied for H1B. So what is this ban for? Starting
Yes.
tonight. Who is banned? Nobody. So this is very contradicting, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
essentially, yesterday when they issued the ban, they had some people in mind to stop from coming, right? They did not mention that it is only for future applicants yesterday. And if it is for future applicants, why are you starting the ban tonight?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So someone who is entering tonight will be affected, right? And we don't know who that is. Someone who is entering tonight is an existing H1B holder, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Right. So this is contradictory statement that they have given today. So from yesterday to today, there are a lot of confusing points, and every attorney that I spoke to is actually just waiting to clarify because they are
And
not able
Anil,
to
where it is
say.
coming now that it will be for the next replicant, it is something they made some change into the rule, or this is something
Yeah,
news.
yeah, it's White House tweeted officially, but
Okay,
that's what I'm discussing, that it is confusing again.
okay.
But Anil, the what is the authenticity of this tweet from White House, right? Proclamation altogether, right?
Well,
So which one has to be treated serious?
that's $1 million question, man. What do you treat as authentic information? I mean, the account on Twitter has the official badge that it's an authentic government account. What else do you want?
I mean, that means they should
I don't
release
know.
another proclamation or some other executive order to otherwise the whole thing doesn't legally. I don't know whether Twitter tweet is accepted or not. I know it is from official from their Twitter, but
See, for that matter, nothing is official, right?
Uh,
Ideally they should have crafted the various scenarios and cases and then wrote them in the proclamation, but they didn't do that. So everything is just based on these kind of draft rules right now. I think
and also
after the yesterday's
yeah,
chaos, they have come out today and clarified this, but this clarification is also very confusing. If they're saying that it is only for future applicants, who, I mean, if someone has not even applied H1B, then who is going to be affected tonight?
let's take an example. See, let's take an example of they're targeting the October 1st people who are going to come, and they put restriction on September 21st. Assume that's the way, right? But when the secretary spoke next to the prompt, he said, all the renewals
the person in the family and friends. They said no, India will not be lean in front of US, whatever they will do. The
They,
and they say everything, and the last thing they said, are you also affected?
yeah, see, those kind of political narratives will keep coming on and they will keep going away as well. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we all have individual lives and we want to do the best for us and our family. So it's up to someone's own opinion. If they want to spend their life in India, then good for them. If somebody wants to make a life in America, then that's good too. Depends where you feel more happier and more comfortable, right? So there will be always different opinions. Yesterday, there was one guy in our chat. He was very worried about what will happen, and then if the government wants us to go back, we will go back. But then who will provide the jobs in India? That was his opinion.
So don't we they need another format if they make this change in the current rule, or they will just simply update this, or the Trump has to be signed the modified version of the rule or the EO, whatever they say it.
I don't know how they do it internally, but because the proclamation is at a very high level, like 10,000 feet, it doesn't have all the permutations and combinations of scenarios what can happen. So I guess they just issue the rules to the government department saying that okay, if this is the situation, then you allow them. If this is not the situation, then don't allow. But that information has not been passed on to the attorneys and the newspapers and everyone. So everyone just read what was written in the proclamation and they created their own understanding. And everyone tries to be more conservative with the understanding, right? You don't want to be very liberal with it. Conservative in the sense you try to find out the best possible interpretation of what is written because they have not given the different scenarios. What will happen to H4? What will happen to people who already have I-140 or people who have been staying in the US for 10 years or people who are the first time H1B holders. So they did not create those scenarios at all. So the attorneys suggested clearly that don't travel because we don't know what will happen. If you are stuck at the airport and they are demanding 100K, what will you do as a first thing? You will call your manager, right? And the manager will connect you to the attorney. An attorney has no answers because they don't know. The rules are not written. This has been done for the first time in the history of America. It's not written in the law, so nobody knows what to do. Not
Yeah,
even the
but
attorney, right?
but the way secretary was speaking or letting understand to the Trump what does this EU mean, it was feeling like that they did a big homework and they were pretty much clear that what they are going to do. Even he knew that a H1B can only be limited up to the 6 year, but I don't know he was aware about that H1B could be the on lifelong if you belong to India in EB2 category. He just took the example 6 year, give 600 to the government. He
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
he didn't know that people are here even more than 10 year, 15 years on H1B.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you. I think they have not thought through this. Even this is debatable that like 3 months ago they announced that they are going to come up with $5 million gold card, and then next day they announced that they have already sold 250,000 cards. But yesterday they announced that they have reduced the amount to $1 million now. Maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow they will announce that already they have sold 1 million gold cards. So you never know. I mean, there is no authenticity or the. I mean, for me, it's not reliable right now. So I will take a very conservative view of that situation. That's why I'm saying that, if you want to go ahead and travel based on the information that is available from the official White House account, go ahead and do it. But it is risky, right? If you get stuck, then your attorney may not be able to help you at all.
Yeah, or they maybe want to reduce the gold card price. First, they just testing the water, and then they say, "Hey, we are reducing the gold card price to the 100K." Then,
Right.
then they will sold out of stock.
Right. I don't know. Why would somebody pay $1 million instead of investing that 1 million in EB5 project, where the chances of getting that money back are higher? Here, the $1 million is just the fee. You pay it and forget it, right? For green card. And that too,
Yeah,
they are saying that the country of birth limits and everything applies to it. So for an Indian, it makes no sense, right? Why would you pay $1 million as fee and still get stuck in that same backlog?
yeah, true.
So it is better for you to apply an EB5 where the data is still current and you have a chance to get the green card, right? And for that also the rules are not written, it has no legal backing. So let's say tomorrow you pay $1 million and then there is no first of all, there is no such process right now. They have not defined any clear step that you have to fill this form, go ahead and pay the fees, and then this is the next step. Nothing has been done. So it's all in the air right now. So, but assuming that it happens on Monday and you pay $1 million, and let's say in October somebody files a lawsuit saying that this is illegal because this was not created by Congress, then you're stuck. Your 1 million is stuck, right? You won't believe this happens with DB5 also, which is a legal process. It has been created by the Congress, but still it gets lawsuits. Then what is a guarantee that this program which they are creating is not going to be affected by the lawsuits? And lawsuits does affect your money a lot.
True.
So I would be very careful and very suspicious about it. But it depends on person to person. Maybe there are a lot of rich people who just want to pay and get things done quickly. Okay, Ivaru joined as speaker. You want to have your opinion or you have a question, Ivaru? Okay, I guess he's not ready to speak. Okay, we have Arun Tata. Is that right? Arun, you want to speak?
You have already asked my question, Anil. I'm good.
Okay. Hussain, are you? Okay, Hussain has also spoken. Who's left? Anybody else who wants to have their opinion shared and or maybe ask a question? Okay, looks like we are done for the day. Anybody has any questions about the gold card or EB5? I can take them up. I have some time.
I just wanted to check something. Like for the gold card, he when he had
Mhm,
put in like 1 million, he's going to charge for it. Is
mhm.
it for any individual or it's going to be like if you have a dependents and like they can be tagged to that, or even for dependent you have to pay 1 million.
No, nobody knows. They have not even thought through that, I guess. But right now, whatever legal program they have, the dependents are included in the applications in all EV programs. So I'm assuming, even though they have not told anything specifically, but I'm assuming that if you pay $1 million, your family should be able to migrate with you. That's how the current programs work. Like if you invest in EB5 as a primary, your dependents are allowed to
Okay.
get the green card. Yeah. So I guess they will be doing the same thing. But it's a risky program. because it's not created by Congress, and so I don't know what legal standing it will have. I spoke to a couple of attorneys, and they are saying that uh, it's better not to go that way because they don't know what will happen. There are no clear rules, there are no forms, there are no steps defined. It's just a website which says that there's a gold card coming up. So it's very dicey
There is
right
no
now.
also, right? There is no way to apply also.
Exactly, nothing is written. I mean, nobody knows. Because whenever a new process is created, you have to be very detailed about it, right? That this is the legal backing in the law, this is the form you have to fill, this is the way you have to pay the fee, and then USCIS, will it go to the USCIS, or who is the legal authority to approve it? Because if they start doing it, I'm pretty sure somebody will file a lawsuit saying that this is not a legal thing. How can you bypass the whole legal process? Then if the court puts a stay on it, then you are stuck with your money there. I mean, that's my personal
See,
opinion,
but
but
but this type of or executive order will they not create a lot of disharmony across the communities? Uh, it's kind of creating fear, right?
yes, it is. I agree with you, but that's how politics works, right? Even if you take the example of India, that's how the politicians get vote. They create a feeling of fear and then they ask you to vote for
But
them.
there is no elections nearby around. See, it's been just eight
No, there are.
months.
No, there
Oh,
are
there are some
midterm
elections.
elections. Yeah, midterm elections next year. So that's what I think. I mean, I heard the political analysts here in USA yesterday on TV, and they all are saying that this is probably aimed at midterm elections, which is, I think, somewhere around September next year. So they are thinking in those terms because we, if you think economically or from a businessman point of view, this is very weird, right? The tariffs, 200% tariff, or maybe like 100K fee per person per year. I mean, I don't know what kind of numbers are these and what is the rationale behind
See,
this
the
adding this
main
kind of
point
fee.
is, the White House gave a clarification for next year, right? Even
Mhm.
even for April filing, I will not waste $100 also to file also. Leave about
Yeah,
so
yeah, but
you will not even get
this is
any 10% of filings.
exactly. So I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe they're just trying to show their voter base that we are taking action, and even if it is not useful or maybe blocked by court, nobody knows. But they can just go back to their voter base and say that we took action. We whatever we promised, we tried to do it, and then that's what matters for getting the votes. Nobody cares whether it really happened or not. That's what I think the way politicians think. They want to create news so that people, I mean, at least even if like 30 or 40% voters can be affected by this, they have got what they wanted. So just take it with a pinch of salt. This is the situation. And right now, they are saying that the existing H1B holders will not be affected. So that's a good news. So at least we don't have anything to worry about immediately. But this is not clear if existing visa holders will go
But
for US
based on this,
stamping.
what I can infer is your EB5 quota will be up. Now people will start.
The EB5 is already very up. In the last 3 years, it has shot up drastically, and most of them are Indians who are filing. People
Now it will
who,
be more, right? Even they have to take loans, and people will start doing this
yes,
uncertainty, right?
yes, that's normal human behavior. Whenever there is some kind of scarcity, people try to move into a very different direction quickly. People who were sitting on the decision for like maybe 3, 4 months, they now got a trigger to make that decision quickly, right? Otherwise, people just keep
Yeah.
thinking that okay, we might get it in 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. Why waste that kind of money or why take the risk on $1 million? But then when some kind of situation happens like this, which is a direct threat, then yeah, people would take decisions. But then at that time, when you are moving into a different direction, then a lot of people are moving in that direction. The queue will be clogged sooner or later. Sooner or later. So the way to win is to just take a decision when nobody else is taking it. Right? You spot the opportunity that the date is current there. You move in that direction when there is no urgency. That's when you can
That's
get
true.
things quickly, right? That's the example that I gave yesterday also. People, Indians who filed in 2023 and 2024, they have already got the green card in EG within like 11, 12 months, start to finish. So, but people who are going to file now will be seeing the backlog pretty quickly because many people who were not even thinking about EB5 will try to file EB5 somehow, right? So that's, I mean, it's human nature. Nobody can do anything about it. But
So
that's a very
Anil,
valid point that you made.
so these 1 million gold card is just we have to pay to government or it's like an investment?
No, as of now, the way it is written, it says that you have to pay that fee as a gift to the government. It will be treated as a gift to the US government. So
Oh,
just you pay and forget.
See, the whole concept they spoke about is to clear some of the debt, right? So they
Yeah,
want the money.
yeah. But
with
the,
this
the
ba- with this,
see this
yeah.
it is contradictory in itself. You have two options: EB5, where you invest 800K in a business and you own that business, right? It's your equity in that business or a loan or whatever you decide to invest as. But here you're just paying $1 million to the government and then forget it. So what will you do? Right? If you are Ambani, you might just pay 1 million. You don't even want to invest in a business, right? Because you want red carpet. But as a normal middle class person, you might just think logically and invest in a business where
And the
you
people who don't care for a million, they'll not come here, and they'll not stay here as well.
exactly. Because I mean, I think couple of months ago we were having this discussion and people were saying Dubai is a better option than if you have $1 million and the intent is to go out of India, then I think Dubai is a better option because there is no tax and then you have
And
better
even
opportunity.
I believe this gold card is not for more than 3 4 years. Like if you are, then you might have to keep renewing it also, right? And like else you
See,
will
the main
again fall
point,
into the same category of
actually,
EB2
as
or
Anil
EB.
said, right? If you have heard before, as Anil said, there is no documentation, there is no process. I think there is no point in
Right,
debating about it as well.
right,
It's just
right.
for the sake of announcing, and you see the gold card, like you can see his picture of the gold,
Yeah,
like as a permanent picture.
right. As of now, it's
Oh man.
just noise. There is nothing concrete on paper. We don't know what it is. The only thing that yesterday they published is that if you pay the $1 million, you will be exempted from paying income tax for 270 days. That's the only thing they said. And you can stay in the US for up to 270 days without paying the income tax. That's the only criteria they added. Maybe they found some kind of loophole in the existing law, which is allowing them to do it, but I'm not sure about that.
But they did not give any procedure how to apply or how to do anything, right? It's just a static
No,
website. It does not having
exactly.
any forms of applications or anything.
Exactly. It's just one page website and four lines that $1 million and $2 million gold card is up for sale. So if you are so much fan about this thing and you have spare money, you can ask them where to pay. I don't know. I don't have that kind of money, so I'm very skeptical about it. Yeah. If you want to understand the current process in other streams like EB5, in EB5 they give you conditional green card for 2 years, and then they converted it to the full 10-year green card.
I thought it is 10 years, right? Conditional gold card is for 10 years, isn't it?
No, it's for 2 years. Conditional is
Oh,
two
okay.
years. And then after 2 years, you apply to remove those conditions. And once they remove the conditions, they will issue a green card for 10 years. That's the normal process in the EB5, as well as the family immigration, where you apply with marriage. They give you a conditional green card in marriage also. They don't give you the 10-year green card straight away. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So as far as I understand with this gold card also, the process should be because the existing legal framework says that if it is a conditional thing, except like EB1 or EB2, where you get the 10-year green card straight away, right? And they are trying to put this gold card in either EB1 or EB2 so that they can give you 10-year green card straight away. That's what is their intent. But I don't know how much legal it is
So,
or not.
so Anil, another question, right, on
Mhm.
regular extensions or renewals. With this
Uh-huh.
new insurge, like you mentioned about going up and changing the wage policies and other things.
As of now, the 100K the White House is saying for the new applicants, not for the existing H1B holders. That's what they have told today. But nobody knows the exact rules because they, the way they have written on their Twitter post today is that it is for the future applicants who will be applying in February 2026, the
Oh, okay.
H1 in the H1B
Next
lottery.
question. Okay.
But then, but then why have they created the ban for starting tonight then, right? Because those people have not even applied yet. Who is
I
this
think
ban
that
for
there is
then?
some clarification from US administration, right?
Website, they did
Mhm.
clearly, at least they did clearly put a mention, a line out that's saying he is directing the secretary.
Okay. Anyone else wants to share their opinion or have any questions that I can answer?
Hey, I might join a little bit late. The visa is expired. They have to renew
Mhm.
or have one of the H1 issued again. Visa issued again. Would they be subject to that 100K? Or we don't know that anything about that yet.
As of today, they announced that it only applies to the new H1B applicants who will be applying in February next year in H1B lottery. So anyone who has the H1B as of today is not affected. That's what the White House
Okay.
tweet is saying. But it is very confusing. So I
Yeah,
don't
would
know if
isn't
so.
that
Who does it really apply to then?
yeah, wouldn't that
Right?
2026 H1B does start in 1st October of 2025?
Yes. So,
So yeah.
so
No, but the
what I'm what my
that's the next
understanding is
lottery.
they wanted to apply it to everyone. Okay, but maybe the kind of chaos they created by the wordings that they chose in their proclamation yesterday, it created a lot of noise, and maybe businesses would have lobbied, saying that this is complete nonsense or whatever word they would have used. They have come out and given this clarification that it only applies to the new H1B who will be applying in February in future. That's the word they have used, future, February. So I'm assuming they're talking about February 2026 because that's the future. But that will be like those people will be entering the US in next October 2026. And then this ban will end in next September.
Yeah. So
Exactly. So either
few
they
things
mean
are
that
not matching.
people who have already got H1B as first time applicants this year, because I think their intent was to block them. Because why would they start the ban today otherwise? Those people will start entering 21st because you're allowed to enter 10 days before the actual start date as per the law. right? So people who have got the H1B approval this year for the first time to start work on 1st of October, they would have started entering on 21st of September, right? So the timing matches. So I think their intent, I strongly feel, I may be wrong, but that's what I think, that they wanted to stop them, but now their tweet is saying something else. So, so
Yeah,
attorneys are
it looks
also very
like, yeah,
confused.
it looks like a head first approach, like demonetization or something. We can, if we want to draw similar comparison, like just pull out something and then we'll see. Let's play it to the gallery. Then afterwards we'll send notification every day. This is there. This is not there. Like
Yeah, I mean, at least our organization has sent out a notification saying that do not get out and do not get back in after 21st, just to wait for further instructions. We do not have any sense of clarity at this time, so they're not in a state to advise or give a so
Exactly.
decide.
Because the language yesterday was very vague. Attorneys could not understand who is allowed, who is not allowed. And then if you travel and then you are stopped at the airport, you will call them that who needs to pay 100K. Then it's a very difficult situation for the company and you,
And
right?
I think
Nobody's
I agree.
nobody's going to survive.
I think I
Except for
agree with
Gupta
that.
today.
And what made to apply
Yeah.
this for even incoming H1s for this sector as well, but the kind of chaos it created, they just
Right.
punted it out to the next time, next
Exactly.
slide. But
Exactly.
I think the 100K they could still. I don't think it would not apply for, because they will look at that receipt of 100K for the petitions while they are processing those.
Yeah.
So that makes sense with today's clarity.
That's
But this is across, right? I know
in export, culture, and dairy sectors and things like that. So I think there is an angle to this
Yeah.
from a
And
trade
if you remember, he
perspective.
just said a week back that the Indian government will be back coming to
Yes,
talks with.
yeah. So I think there's definitely an angle, right? There's definitely an angle. He also recently commented on, there's agriculture dairy imports to India. There's conversations of Russian oil purchases. There's conversations around defense purchases. So there's where US can try to put pressure on Indian IT sector because that does account for a huge percentage of India's exports to the US, much higher. So I think this is probably one such high pressure tactic that they're trying out. That could be one sort of way to look at it. And in India and China constitute for almost 90% of H1B. So those are the two countries that they are negotiating with. So I think this could be seen. There's been a lot of conversations, at least over the last 6 months, around sort of the impact of AI and labor market. I think what the progression of AI is going to look like and the investments into AI infrastructure and what that could lead in terms of labor market disruption. So this sort of pause, it's effectively 100K fee on H1B is a pause on H1B. It's not a constant, it's one way to do it through an administrative action versus doing it through Congress as a law. This is just an administrative way of sort of putting a really high fee on it, sort of essentially brings the program to a halt, at least new applicants to a halt. And that could be an experiment for them to look at what the impact of that on the labor market is. And then that can help them with the data necessary to make future reforms. So that could be, do we need new H1Bs in the country or not? Do we need 65 to parent if they do like a 1 year pause and just see what happens? So this could be a tactic for them to try. So I think those are the two angles I have. One could be a trade angle, one could be just a study the impact of AI angle. So any thoughts, comments on that?
Sorry, I was on mute. I was speaking on mute. Yes, I think that is quite possible. What you're saying might make sense.
And
Yeah.
Anil, sorry, I joined just a couple of minutes back. So now that I think almost all the employees got on Saturday from the immigration, teams
Mhm.
about not traveling and all that. Do you still think after these official tweets, still some clarity is missing? Panic. I think you're free to travel and all that from their immigration attorneys is what I'm thinking. I don't know. Do you all have
I
any?
would I would still wait for the printout of a tweet or link to a tweet can be used. If it can be used to justify, it would be a first. So yeah, I would still wait for some official clarification on a website which carries more idea.
Yeah,
The
and
White
the other aspect
House
is I think
retweeted, right?
at the end of the day, I think an executive order is only the start of a process. Like executive order just it conveys what the president's intent is, and then that gets translated into actual actions and regulations by various departments, right? So the executive order is just a state of intent is what the order is. Now the next step of that, based on that, all these agencies will have to
You
come
should
out
get the
with
memos.
how they're going to implement it going forward. What does that
Yeah.
mean, right? So even what does that mean to an immigration officer that's looking at passengers coming from India with the H1B status? How should they act on it? What is the official direction from those agencies? Will all have to get translated, and it should all trickle down from that executive order to agencies and new regulations and rules and all. So this will take some time as to how this is all going to trickle down.
Yeah.
The date was surprising because they just said starts on Monday. So I just don't know how any of this will translate in a day, especially over a weekend, and how people are going to react to even the agencies within the government and people working on it.
I don't know how they will immediately translate that to any sort of directive to their employees within a day
Yeah,
or two.
that's true.
So we just I don't know how
Usually,
it's gonna next week's gonna be
yeah,
chaotic.
that's true. I mean, usually there are internal memos to all these agencies once this executive order is out. So forget about the second, this 180 degrees turnaround, but I don't think even the memos went out for the first one, which was signed yesterday. So
Yeah, I mean, generally that's why these executive orders would have a future date. It would usually have a few months out so that then the agencies can make proposals, then they can come out with things, and then that'll get trickled down to people. But it was very surprising how the date was 2 days away. So that just doesn't make any sense. How I don't know how from that executive order, every agency and every immigration officer sitting in an airport is going to understand what to do based on that. So I think there's more to come, but I feel the next week or two in every major airport in the US is going to be pretty chaotic.
Yeah. And any thoughts on, like, will they draw a distinction between, like, people who are like H1 approved but not yet stamped in India or other country? Like, anybody has any thoughts on that?
The rules are clear, not yet clear. Today they said that anyone who has a visa, already has a visa, is not affected. You can come to USA without paying the fee. But yesterday the language was very different. Today the language is different, but it is in the tweet. It's not in the proclamation. So
Right.
attorneys are saying that they don't know what exactly is going to happen if you have the visa and if you don't have the visa. So they are not clear about it.
Yeah.
Basically, the attorneys need to know the language which can be presented in a court of law. Right? They cannot just believe on simple clarifications in the press conference or the tweets and other stuff. It has to come from the White House and it should be signed by the president or whatever the legal mechanism for that. So what they're saying is, as of now, if you can come back to the US before tonight, come back. But if you cannot, then stay back in the country wherever you are, and then they will devise a strategy and then let you know what to do. But don't travel on 21st is what they're saying.
Yeah.
To be frank, nobody knows the exact answer.
Yeah.
Everyone is just interpreting it in a way that they can understand it the best, and they're trying to give a conservative estimate of what it means. Okay, nobody is saying that, this is not banned and this is banned, because anything can happen at the airport. If they ask you to come to the US and then they stop you at the airport and not let you enter, then the attorney is responsible. He has given you the confirmation that you will not be stopped. But then if they stop you and then there is no law to, back it up, it's very difficult situation right now. So the best thing that you can do is better not travel. Wait for the practical situations that will happen starting tonight.
Yeah,
And
like
then
I
you will
mean,
get more
put yourself in
information.
the
yeah,
shoes
I think
of an
stay put
immigration
is the
officer
best strategy
at the
for
port of entry,
convenience.
right?
Right.
What are you, if you are the immigration officer at the port of entry, what is the instructions given to you to allow somebody in or not, right? Like you can't just go by a proclamation that is vague. You need to have exact instructions on who to permit and not to permit and what to check for. What is the receipt? How does that receipt look like to know that you've paid or not, or what documents should they look
Exactly.
for? I don't think any of this has trickled down. So even the people at the port mean a new applicant versus an existing applicant, or and I don't know how you mean I don't know if the existing H1B stamp says that, if it's a new thing or a recurring thing, I don't know. But I don't know if they are educated enough to know that, and so I don't know if not any of these has trickled down to things that anyone can take action on. I think it's just it's a broad executive order, and it needs to get work through the system and turned into something actionable.
Right. I don't think they have even given the link to make the payment. How, when, where, how can you produce the receipt? Is the employee allowed to produce a receipt, or how that process works?
Yeah.
All this is just vague. They just came and announced, and then announced from tomorrow. Like yesterday, well, it's complete.
Earlier, the fact that Howard Lutnick, the Secretary of Commerce, who's leading trade negotiations, is announcing an immigration specific policy, and he's putting, he's saying it's effective from tomorrow. I don't know if the actual immigration agencies were involved in this and have made all the necessary preparations for it and come out with clear guidelines. I don't know if any of this happened or a 10 scare measure to force India into a trade negotiation situation. I don't know what the reality is but regarding H1B immigration stuff would be announced by Secretary of Commerce. So all that is very weird as to how it all played out. And the other interesting comment is, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but in the video he also mentioned when he said this, he said we've already talked to all the and they're all in agreement. So and then you see emails going out from companies like Microsoft and Amazon and everybody after seeing this, hey, please, if all the tech CEOs were aware of this and were going to do this, why is there all these panic emails from their HR department saying don't travel, and then the administration? So this is all very chaotic, right? Like I don't think any of this is coordinated.
So I believe there are a couple of things here, right? One, if you look at White House Secretary's latest tweet, it says this is applicable for next lottery or whatever happens next year, which is applicable starting October 1st. And this ruling, as per the briefing, this is even applicable. That is one. Second,
No, but the
Exactly.
petitions get processed before that, right? The
but
petitions,
you
the
have
actual
to pay
petitions.
100K when you actually enter the US. So you can't enter the US. This is even applicable, said. I'm not sure.
No,
Second,
no. It said in the proclamation the decision to approve the petition.
yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think possibly that could be the case. Second, that people were called in, or HRs called in people who were supposed to travel yesterday. So if HRs are able to files, that essentially means organizations were aware. Now, having said that, what to these tech CEOs could be very different, and what has been implemented or what has not even implemented, what has been proposed yesterday is very different, is what I feel now.
If that would be, even if that was discussed with the tech CEOs, if that had been distilled down into their organizations to even down to news would have leaked many days ago. So I don't know if things like this generally don't get leaked down to that level, because that'll cause a lot of chaos. Um, it's not nothing is aligning, right? Like you see Microsoft, the emails that was sent out by all the companies saying if you are outside the US, get back in by this date, like get back in like in 24 hours was the email that went to everybody. And then immediately the tweet from the government was, oh no, existing visa folks don't have to worry. So it's clear that even among that there's not alignment. So it doesn't look like they have aligned on any of this. And generally, I don't think, why would the companies that use the vast majority of these visas agree to $100,000 fee on top of it? Why would they love this, and why would they support this? Like no one wants to pay $100,000. You look at the average wage per employee, even on Amazon, it's 150K or whatever. Like, would you pay like another 30-40% increase in pay just to have and just to give money to a government just to have? I don't think maybe like one other sort of like the thought process is it might maybe hey, let's pause H1B for a year, and one administrative way to do it is just hike up the fee to a crazy amount so that we can almost sort of pause it for a year, and then we'll see what happens to the labor market, because all you guys are talking about AI and how that can start replacing programmers and all that stuff. So let's see what happens in a year, and then we'll reassess the need for foreign workers. So that could be sort of a experimental theory, but I don't know. Like I'm just speculating here.
Yeah. The other thing I believe, and again, this is purely my theory. There are two things that were announced in terms of immigration yesterday. One was this gold card. Either you have to pay $1 million as an individual, or your organization is supposed to pay $2 million to get you a green card. And the other one was H1B. Now, if you look at the fine prints of that gold card or the green card details, it says that eventually, or maybe in 30 days, they will be. And so far, this kind of green card was EB5 category, correct? So they are trying to get all of the categories merged together. EB1 and EB2 will also be utilized in this EB5 gold card category. So was all of this sensationalism created around H1B so that nobody pays attention uh, to this gold card? I don't know. Again, I'm just speculating or creating my own theory around here, but that also feels like it.
But wouldn't those kind of things have to go through Congress? So, like, if you are if you're squeezing something else into those categories, because for my knowledge, and please correct me, if a part of the regulations in terms of how they defined what EB1 category is and what the extraordinary ability category goes to EB1 versus EB2, what is EB3, which is advanced versus bachelor's degree. All this is a part of how this go through congressional approval, right? Like, or can they just come up with a new gold card and platinum card and just say
Congress.
so? How are they making this announcement then? Like, how are they just saying, okay, here's a new card and it's
Right. So that's they're just announcing. They have not given any details because I don't think they have any find some loophole in the law where they can fit this into. But I spoke to multiple attorneys and they all mentioned pathway for green card. It has to come through Congress. It cannot be just created, abruptly one based on the money they provide you. There is no such provision in the law as of now.
right. I mean, think
So
about that, right? If a
technically,
different administration comes along, let's say the Democratic administration comes along the next 4 years, give people of all every country some other card, right? You can't just. I don't think you can just do this without it having to go through Congress and actually be amended based on votes across House, Senate, and the. I don't know how much it's actually legal of some of these things.
exactly. So that's what I was telling earlier to people who are interested in 1 million. See, as of now, we don't know whether this is a legally valid process or not. And even if you pay 1 million today, for example, and tomorrow there is a lawsuit filed by stuck in the middle, you have given 1 million and then until the result comes out from the court, you're stuck. All pathways which have been created by Congress so that at least you have some legal backing in case something goes wrong. Right? Allows you to file for green card by investing 800K is also facing lawsuits on various different programs that they're trying to create as just out of thin air. They're just saying that we will give gold card answers that they have followed. I don't know how confident one will be to investment to get that money back.
So
It's a fee.
yeah,
One of the thoughts that comes to mind is it possible that the big techs are proud to basically cover up the upcoming layoffs? Basically, they might have done some kind of calculation, can retain, maybe pay 100K for some of them and let go most of them, and I would not have to basically show it as a um, driven uh, cut downs, basically. Just a thought.
I mean, I so far they have done a lot of layoffs over the last few years, and that's included H1B, and but that hasn't, they haven't had any. If anything, the stock prices have gone up because of that, right? Because ultimately the shareholders see that as, okay, you're optimizing the business, your stock price is going up, which is pretty much rallied and carried the U.S. stock market over the last few years. So I don't know if this was some hidden strategy to reduce some labor force, because they have been doing it in plain sight for the last few years without any issue. Don't know.
Okay.
Carolyn Levitt was the press secretary, just announced on Twitter, providing clarity on travel. This is not an annual fee; it's a one-time fee.
Oh, it's
It only it only applies to new visas, not renewals, and not current visa holders, extent as they normally would. Whatever ability they have to do that is not impacted by yesterday's proclaim are currently outside of the country right now will not be charged 100,000 to re-enter. So I think this sort of puts. She's a press secretary, so she should have all the latest are even saying take a screenshot of this if you're re-entering and show it to the CBP officer. If you have no other way, but you have to be back White House press.
yeah. So they should have given this information yesterday.
Yeah, I think now this and the press will clarify this and calm the nerves of travelers. But yeah, this was much needed yesterday itself. I think,
Remember,
this was a delayed clarity.
remember in the press conference, the Commerce Secretary clearly mentioned that it's a per year fee. They have to pay per year, right? He was asked this question and then he clearly said it's
Yeah,
100K.
yeah, and she kind of wrote it in all caps. So, so this
Yeah.
sort of like calms my nerve that this shouldn't be a concern for folks who are traveling. Open-ended questions for folks who are going to be in the visa lottery in the next upcoming cycle. she so this is not for anybody right now in the country or outside the extension or stamping. Yeah.
Right. So we were debating this earlier. Then future applicants, why does the ban start today? People have not even applied, right? They will be end. And who is this ban for? Are they
I
just
think Anil, based on the discussions earlier in this forum, right? I also strongly feel that they try to contain a wider audience, taken a step
right?
backward and saying that okay, boss, this is going to be much more negative. Rather,
Exactly.
let's realize it within 24 hours that they
Right.
did.
Right.
But this would apply to no one then, right? And
Exactly.
like if you're saying, hey,
That's what I'm
right,
saying.
because the whole thing would expire, lot. It wouldn't even. So this could apply to zero people.
No, but it before
Exactly.
they enter. So after the lottery is picked.
No, so no, the whole thing, right? And the ban is till next September 20th. And the people who will apply for H1B lottery next year
Sorry, I
will
think it
not
says
be
when
eligible.
you enter, your petition should have been already associated with an amount.
Right. But they enter USA in next October. And by then this will pay for it. Right.
So,
I
like Anil, your thought is then because of all the chaos, they just
I
continue.
think that they have got a very big backlash from maybe the day the proclamation made.
I don't know whether it's a backlash from business because there was like absolutely zero tweet from any.
I don't think they would dare to do that.
that this 100K possibly might become it will not apply to anybody because the travel they will introduce this 100K as a necessary, not just for travel. Yes, they are saying that you must have paid this money before. They will probably clarify that this has to be paid alongside 100K.
That is fine. You can pay if the ban expires on 20th of September 2026. You can find it before 20th.
There is one caveat that the ban expects, right? Because you don't get the petition approved.
They are not saying that.
Yeah.
They are not saying. They are saying that.
I think they have mentioned H1B visa. They didn't mention stamping.
Yeah.
Petition is a different thing than visa.
Right? It says it's a one-time fee that appeals that let's say you are in next year of there are two candidates, somebody who paid 100K, somebody who did not pay 100K first. You will not even be picked for lottery travel on 22nd, but you will not even reach that situation.
What I'm trying to say, this is not coded in the law. They cannot ever go the authority of the president here up people from entering the US. They cannot change the H1B law by courts.
No, definitely. I'm not talking about the just
And just a clarifying question. Like for example, initially there was a registration for H1B, application fees have increased and premium are governed. How much fees can be raised by? What's the law around fee increases?
Sorry, question.
Fee, onto this without going through Congress, right? So I was just trying to clear fees and H1B fees and premium processing fees and all that over the years.
It goes through a law. It's good. It goes that USCIS can increase the fees based on the that they have to propose it. They have to create a rulemaking process, right? And then after that, they can do a process. It's a long process. It takes about, it has happened in the past that Biden's term, that has also happened. So it's not that easy. There has to be some justification, right?
Right. That makes sense.
What they were trying to do is they were trying to block the entry because that comes and working process by citing certain threats like they did travel ban because they had some threat to the country. But with the petition, yesterday it was visa. Petition is the word there at the feet of the petition without going through the rule-making process. But this fee, that was the debatable point.
So basically, they can justify that this is related to the this. I mean, this is not a profit-making entity, right? These are government, and this is for the benefit of the citizens of the United States. You to increase the tax collection or a lot of litigations if that's the intent because that's what it's going to generate $100 billion to is on the public by collecting this. So I'm not quite sure if for public programs to be used for revenue generation. Saying is like, how can the president override, can by law issue visa programs in the in conditions have to be presented in the court, right? Like what's going on? Is there like a world with an unemployment rate of 10%? Those kind of conditions have to be scenarios to be accepted in the court.
Exactly. I agree. That's what they have. USA is under alien invasion, and that's why they are triggering that tariff. Otherwise, president doesn't have any authority to decide on the tariffs. The court has decided that you have no authority to do it because there is no such exam was trying to speak. Please go ahead.
Two more. Go ahead, Teja.
Just they have today told that it will apply to the people who will be applying it. For people who are coming for studying in USA this year and coming for studying
this year and plan to apply H1B next year in February, then yes. Well, expect the unexpected.
So, one more thing, but certainly it has created a fear in the mind of visa holders, right, for any future investments. Making all this while in the past couple of years, there had been two school of thought. Should I, as a visa holder, like a citizen or a green card person, right? So, a lot of fear has been created for any future investments, at least by this. What I'm observing in some of my chat, other WhatsApp group is not sure if sale of a house can be executed of attorney to a friend or something by H1B holder. I see a lot of communications around that.
Yeah, that's a valid question. You don't just give the power of attorney while you are here. Maybe if you have to exit, then give the powerful document. Have you seen it?
Yes, yes. It's a
Have you
very
seen it
powerful
in
document,
movies?
certainly.
No.
Correct. Yeah, chat groups, a lot of communications around or message exchanges about power of attorney and all. People are strategically pre-planning for the worst, that kind of
Yeah,
situation.
I think I think like selling homes and giving power of attorney kind of thing. And another way to look at it, maybe could also administration has been trying to send a clear message in investing in America and hiring Americans, and this sort of turmoil this has created over the weekend, and how much this has gone across companies and to employees and everywhere, literally on every single mainstream media outlet. So I think this could be just a way to create enough panic that the US that you should prioritize Americans in hiring without actually causing any real damage. Or it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it just gets a message clearly out. And also this might be something to just understanding intricacies of the lottery cycles and when this applies and the visa versus the petition and all this. I think we are knowledgeable. I think the average American would have no idea, and for them they would generally see this as that makes sense, and the government is doing everything to cause panic, but just to reinforce a
I
message as
think that's
clearly
a
as
very
possible.
valid point about
Right.
appeasement to the MAGA base. No, very valid point. Yeah.
But they will try to make their core voter base happy and then aim that they will vote for them again. So this is not. So the only thing is that we should take care of ourselves and what we can do to stay on the right side of the law and how to ride this wave.
And making America great again and getting the businesses here. But the way this messaging works is one to create a panic, right? But again, it also, for offshoring again, isn't it? I don't know. It's like it is always contradicting.
Yes, you have a valid point.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
have a valid, yeah. The businesses will decide where they can get the things done at the cheapest possible rate. That's how the business works. So yes, in a way, some of the outsourcing, they plan for a year in advance and at least 2 to 3 years in advance for their project budgets and everything. So I think that
and
there
I
seems
think
to be
we hear a lot about billions of dollars, pouring in the U.S. and things of that nature. But you recently, and stuff like that. So I think you see a lot of this where, hey, we want you to legal immigration and super restrictive about it. But at the end of the day, just investments don't just happen because you have the capital. You need a qualified, people to do the job, from technicians to engineers, etc. And over the last 30 years, US has seen sort of just because they could invest billions of dollars, infrastructure doesn't get just magically built and things don't. So it's a very fair point. And they have to think about if they do want investments in the short term to build up, the onshoring of, factories and delivering to legal immigration so that they can bring the people they need and to at least play that out over many years so that they can build that human capital in the US.
Someone else was trying to speak. Was it Teja? I forgot. There was someone who wanted to speak.
No,
Please
I'm
go
good.
ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to the point that this seems like on one hand, yesterday everyone was applauding, all the MAGA base was applauding that they, finally took a stand and on Twitter or other social media was, uh, they didn't have anything nice to say for their.
Right. They are saying that the existing H1B visa holders, they are not affected. They are only targeting the new H1B applications, which will be filed next year, not even this year. So I'm not really sure who this ban applies. So I don't know. We might see one more clarification tonight or maybe tomorrow that these are the category of people who will be affected and they need to pay the fees.
So Anil, the person with a valid visa and did not enter the US previously prosecuted.
Yeah, as per tweet from second, that's what I understand. It clearly says this applies on new visas, like they will be applied. Maybe I don't know if they want to put this condition on the people who have got the H1B lottery this year, the current year. Maybe I think their intention was to block them as well, but with the wait for next year. But what is the use of ban then? They should have started it from next year. So this, I think they will need to clarify this point as well. Maybe tomorrow or by evening we should get one more tweet from them. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does.
Thanks for joining. Do we have anyone else who has a question? Somebody is requesting. Have any question or you want to share your opinion? So finally, we are living the world. Finally, we are living in the world of bureau process. Kind of, yes. That is pretty sufficient.
H1B transfer, and I'm on I-140, so I'm assuming I will not get affected by this, right, based on the new memo.
Sorry, I missed the question. You were breaking up.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of H1B transfer. I'm in US, and I have I-140, and I'm obviously changing my job, so my new employer is going to file my I-140 next week. File my transfer next week, not I-140 H1B transfer. So I'm assuming with this new memo that they've just tweeted like 2 minutes back,
Yeah,
I should not get affected, right?
yeah, you're out of danger. You're not going to be eliminated today. As they say in Big Boss, you, you are out of danger.
Maybe.
Sorry, Anil, can we just read the stuff that just came out from USCIS? It does say the memorandum that got released. It uses the word petition file, not visa. Like we just had a discussion recently about petition is a different thing and visa is a different thing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, hey, this could apply to visa, but it cannot apply to petition because it has to go through the rulemaking process.
Yeah.
But what the USCIS memorandum says is this guidance applies to H1B employment-based petitions filed after 12:01 a.m. Eastern on September 21st, 2025.
Yeah.
So is it petition? Is it visa? It's still confusing.
USCIS always works on petition. They don't have the authority to issue a visa. Okay, visa is issued by US Embassy or the consulate, which are completely different
But the memorandum says this
Okay,
applies
that's
to
the basic
petitions.
difference from time.
I'm not following. I'm not understanding the memorandum basically.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
reading
one more question,
reading
Anil.
it.
Anil, one more question in the same line of the petition, right? So when they say petitions, is it a new fresh H1B petitions, or even for who are going to
No, it
apply
says
for
new in
extensions
the
or
USCIS.
transfers?
New.
Somebody else had already asked the question and we were discussing that.
Oh, sorry for that.
Let's go back to
Yeah,
the
this
thought.
is Aman. Yeah, so what I was asking, Anil, for you, H1B application, that's also a petition, right? So the
USCIS says on September 19, 2020, proclamation restriction on entry of certain non-jumping to the real information is restricted, supplemented by this. This guidance applies to H1B on September 21, 2025. This proclamation only applies to being filed. Proclamation does not apply to aliens who are the beneficiaries or beneficiary of currently approved petitions or aren't all officers of the United States shall ensure that their decision. They are saying that whatever H1B you file, the way they have written it, which means they have added another level of confusion.
Why they even clarified about travel?
They're just adding confusion on top of us.
But if you see the
Every department,
the last line said travel to or fro. So they clarified that. I don't know why USCIS had to. They could have just said new.
Exactly.
But in the tweet they said new. If you see, these are not considered new, right? So
That's what I mean. So much confusion is there. Yesterday evening, confusion after confusion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear to me that there's been no coordination across these. Because it's where, even they are contradicting themselves. It wasn't properly vetted through the agencies and petition versus visa, and I even run this through and fully understand this system. People in the place their base, it feels like art was just maybe at this point.
Right.
article the official, right? Besides the tweets, private. At least that is clarified.
Yeah, because you haven't looked at it. That's what it says, right?
But then, if you look at the press secretary, also they said,
Yeah.
and he said it's also one time fee, not for
Only applies to lottery is what the CS didn't say it will apply. They also didn't clarify that.
More information they create. I don't know. It's just every department is saying something else.
It's weekend.
I'm at least the secretary would not know at that level.
The certain layers.
Right.
It's
It's Jason Miller.
Deep understanding of the whole system.
All his fingerprints
I'm confused. Needs to understand what exactly is going on.
Employers are talking. What they are saying is until US don't travel, try to 21st, whatever the deadline is not suggestible now.
Right, yeah. And these are playing this safe game. There's so much of confusion. There is no clear answer that they cannot really get stuck at the airport and be deported if you are not covered or you are not stay immediately when you are at the airport. And even if they are ready to pay this bill,
I think the recommendation is to just don't plan. That's it.
exactly.
At least for a week.
Yeah, at least for 2 weeks they will find out what's the right way to handle
Get
it.
all experiences.
Yes, exactly. I think Sid was the person who was asking questions.
No, not yet.
There was one guy who wanted to ask questions. Have left. Maybe they found another. I guess Gunjan joined as a speaker. You want to share your opinion?
Yeah, then I'm actually in a situation.
Okay.
I was laid off 3 weeks back morning. Uh, so it was 3. Now they are supposed to file my transfer because I'm on the sick. So they're supposed to file the petition next week, Friday morning, when they ruled out offer to me, and they're supposed to file the transfer next week and start the preparation. That impact me because right now there's so much confusion, and I'm also on the 60 day. They clarify, and it might happen that they might rescind the job. So just wanted to.
Well, it's very complicated right now. Understanding was that anyone who is physically present in the US is not affected. Any petition filed after tonight will have to pay 100 physically in the US are also affected. Right? Don't have any answer because in the last 24 hours, yeah, so they have added another confusion. That's what I also included the people who are physically present in the US, right? Yes. So if you file the transfer tomorrow, then and if you are physically, what she is saying does not match with what USCIS is saying. Just try to read through.
If USCIS
So exactly. So if you file the transfer tomorrow, okay, that
Till 2020
visa is only required for entering into visa is only you that it's useless.
said outside of US applying the petition,
Exactly. Exactly. They are including people who are in the US, but the plus future like February 2026, but there is a lot of confusion about it. See, everybody
these guys are filed, they're not even completed, right? That's a problem. Like at least everybody is clear
misinformation right now. There are just somebody is saying something else, the secretary says something else, USCIS, where you actually file the forms. Are going to be filed starting tomorrow with USCIS. So outside the US are, but USCIS has added another variable to the card.
But like, and
Anil,
this is one thing.
there are three conditions, right? Anil, if you read that again, if you could read that again, because plus valid H1B non-immigrant visas.
Yeah, that's what I wanted
So,
to actually.
so visa is just a stamp in the passport. Okay. Now, whenever you file a transfer or an extension or change of status or amendment, whatever you file, it's considered a new petition. Okay, because you're asking
Does
for
that
a new
mean
period of approval.
does that mean new petitions will not have impact?
No, that's what they say, that any petition filed after tomorrow will have to pay. That's what it says. The previously approved petition, we are excluding it.
That's not what it says. It says that if you have the approval right now, you're fine. But that approval will expire here. The person who was on the call right now, he is trying to file transfers. So I'm not sure whether he has to get. And I'm not an attorney, so please understand. I have understanding of legal language, but not to the way that attorneys understand. This has been put in plain language which can be easily understood. They're just making assumptions that people, whosoever is writing it, does not even understand the difference between various situations.
With what was said yesterday in while signing about. So there are like
Not entirely, because USCIS memo says
there was no mention from Ludwig or Trump about travel ban or